You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps, and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Hello, welcome back to Unstoppable Actors if you're a regular listener, and welcome if you are a new listener. It's so good to have you here. Today's episode, we are going there, because I saw something in a Facebook group recently that honestly made me stop scrolling and then immediately made me want to jump in, but I didn't, because instead I thought, nope, this is a podcast episode. So here's what I saw. People were discussing online acting classes, and the comments, wow. I was reading things like, I can't believe we're even discussing online acting training as a thing. To learn and improve, you need to be in the room interacting. They're a poor substitute. You need to be in the room listening, responding, learning. And the one comment that really stood out is, it's very rare to find a good teacher anyway. Now, I've just given you a summary of what I read. They really went in hard, these comments, and there was a lot of them, and they were scathing. So let's just take a breath. Let's just pause. Especially on that last one, that it's very rare to find a good teacher anyway. Because there's a mix of truth, assumption, and if I'm being completely honest, a bit of outdated thinking wrapped up in all of that with a nice little sprinkling of uneducation. And I'm saying this kindly. Now, before we go any further on this topic, I am not here to convince anybody. I'm not here to argue, but I am here to challenge this thinking. And more importantly, to give you the power to decide what actually works for your growth as an actor. So let's start with this core belief that was threading through all of these comments. And the big idea in all of them was that you have to be in the room to become a good actor. And I totally get that way of thinking, because acting is human. It's connection, it's listening, it's responding. Of course it is. But here's the question that no one is actually asking. And that question is, what actually creates truthful acting? Is it the room or is it the actor? Because if we're really honest, you can be in any room and still be completely disconnected and inauthentic. You can be in any room and still be in your head. You can be in any room and still be performing, pushing, pretending, and still full of bad acting habits. So the room itself, that's not the magic. So let's dive into what actually builds a powerful actor. Because in my way of working, and I have done both online training and in-person training, and I'll be completely transparent, now I only do online training, but whichever route we take, whether it's in-person or online, we always start in exactly the same place, in exactly the same way, with the foundational method acting triangle. The foundational method acting triangle exercises are the methods chair relaxation, the concentration exercise, and the sense memory exercise. Online, in person, doesn't matter where we are, we always start with those three exercises, because without them, you do not have truth. What you have instead is tension, distraction, and surface level acting. And here's the key thing that you should know about all three of those exercises. Whilst there is a practical element to them, They deal with the issues that take place internally in the actor, because they're about your relationship with your mind, your body, and your imagination, not the building you're sitting in. So here's where online training gets really, really, really interesting, and it's the part that nobody's talking about. Online training actually demands more from your imagination. And I can hear you saying, really? Does it? How? Because when you are online and more is being demanded of your pure imagination, it's where actors either grow or they get exposed. When you are not physically in the same room, you cannot rely on environment. You cannot rely on energy in the space, and you cannot rely on other people to carry the moment. You yourself have to create the moment. And if you understand sense memory properly, and if you understand your instrument properly, your instrument is your mind, your body, your energy, you will know that imagination and your pure imagination that is unfiltered and it isn't poisoned by overthinking, you will know that is the skill that you need above everything. You will know that all actors, no matter where you are, whether it's on set, whether it's on a stage, whether it's in a rehearsal room, whether it's in an online classroom, all actors are answering this one question. How do I create truth when everything around me is fake? Because even on the most magnificent set, even on the most magnificent stage, everything is still fake. Because that's acting. That's the job. So in many ways, online training is not a poor substitute. It's a magnifying glass. And it will magnify where your craft needs sharpening. So let's move on to structure, because this is really, really, really important and this matters. And I will agree with the comments, because not all training is good training. And yes, it really is rare to find a good acting teacher, because good acting training isn't about a teacher watching you. It's not about you all just talking, and it's not about receiving vague feedback like, oh, you were a bit nervous there. You need to be a bit more real. Good teaching is structured, it's practical, it's repeatable, and it builds skill step by step. So in my classes, for example, we don't just talk about acting, we practically do the work. We roll our sleeves up. Every single class includes those 3 exercises that I've already shared with you. That's how they start, and that's practical. It includes step-by-step progression. So that's me looking at you and sharing what your blind spots are and giving that feedback, and then also sharing with you exactly what method acting exercises you need to overcome those blind spots. And then we do workshopping. And we workshop those exercises that I'm saying you need to improve your acting until you've got the hang of them and you're like, oh, that makes sense. And you've seen and felt a change in your acting for the better. And within that, which I've already kind of said anyway, is detailed specific feedback. Actors are not sitting there passively in my online classes. And I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for others. They are training. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Yeah, but online classes feel awkward. They feel disconnected. I don't feel as immersed. And all of those thoughts and feelings are totally valid. But let's unpack them honestly. Let's address awkwardness first. Awkwardness is usually awareness. You are aware of yourself. You are aware you're being watched. You're aware there is a screen in front of you, and that screen is no different from a big audience. When that's happening, when there is awkwardness, that's the actor needing tools, regardless of where you are. Let's move on to disconnection. Disconnection is usually a lack of concentration. So we need skills, we need techniques to pick that up and develop your focus. And then if we think about the immersion, I don't feel immersed. That comes from your ability to believe in the imaginary given circumstances, which again is the work. All of these 3 things the awkwardness, the immersion, the disconnection. It's the work, it's the craft. It's what the craft was developed for. And here's the truth that most actors don't want to hear. And I'm going to say it anyway. If you're relying on the room to make you feel something, you are in trouble. Because on set, you won't have it. You will have lights, cameras, crew, time pressure, and a specific amount of time to get your scenes done. So the real question is, can you create truth anywhere? Because that is what makes you castable. And I have had plenty of auditions for agents that have been in really small, cramped rooms that are not inspiring. And it is not down to the room whether I'm able to create, it's down to whether I have learnt the craft and developed it enough to be able to perform anywhere. So I want to share something with you, because this isn't just theory. This is what Ben Sora said. Ben Sora said, I started my acting journey 5 years ago. I've learnt a lot since then and will continue to do so. However, it is Louise at Standby Method Acting Studio who has left a lasting impression. I took her 10-week module at a time when the world was gripped by COVID and no one knew what the future held. At first, I wasn't sure how training online would benefit me with acting. However, Louise made the process so easy that at times it did not even seem to be online. Louise has the composure, patience, and empathy that is needed to teach. I recommend her highly. She will give you a boost and equip you with the knowledge to take you to the next level of your acting career. She is and will always be my mentor. Ben's career is going from strength to strength, from Hollywood films to TV soaps to even bigger Hollywood auditions. He's doing incredible. He only ever trained online with me. Peter Frost said, at first, I was a little apprehensive with continuing my acting training online, but it turned out to be well worth it. Not only did my confidence grow with every lesson being in a new environment whilst training, but my imagination grew tenfold as well. If I can create the scene for Hamlet's famous speech in a small room at home, I can create it anywhere. Peter's career is also going from strength to strength. He got himself a new agent. He's been doing auditions. He's got a stage play and a film in the pipeline. And this is what happens when you put any preconceived ideas about online training behind you. These are actors, so Ben and Peter are actors who have experienced this work. They've seen and felt the shift. They have felt what's possible when the training is done properly. So I want to wrap with my final thoughts then. Are online acting classes no good? Or are we just asking the wrong question? Maybe the better question is the training structured? Is the teacher skilled? Are you being challenged? Are you actually doing the work? Because if the answer to those is yes, then trust me, you are not missing out. You are building something really, really powerful. So if something's clicked for you today in what I've been saying, and you are ready to stop thinking about becoming a better actor, and you want to train like one, then this is your moment. Because applications for my 10-week method acting program, Acting for Camera, are closing in 2 days' time. We've got auditions happening this Saturday, the 18th of April, and we begin on Wednesday, the 29th of April. It's not a passive course. You're going to be working practically, you are going to be challenged, and you will build real, repeatable acting skills in method acting. The classes are small, so every actor gets the attention that they need. It's a safe, supportive environment, so people can dig deep with their emotional work and do it safely and feel comfortable doing it. You get structure every single class, and you get detailed feedback so you know what's working and what needs working on. So if you are ready to step into that next level, then go and apply now. Go and secure your audition slot, and let's get to work. The link is underneath where you hit play to check it out, or you can go to tinyurl.com/10-week method acting. I'll see you again soon.
I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.